for any girl considering entering the industry, most girls' stories, not most, but a lot of girls' stories start with, and I quote, a free flight to Miami on Craigslist. And I just want to clarify that nothing is free in this business. Agents and producers and recruiters are going to give you a very unrealistic portrayal of fame and luxury and money. They're going to tell you that you could be the next Jenna Jameson or the Sasha Grey, and they're going to tell you to act just like those women if you want any success in the industry. But I think young women should know that porn is no longer lucrative for 95% of the girls who enter it, because performer rates have reduced substantially in the last 5 to 10 years due to like economic changes within the industry with the advent of tube sites. And companies struggle to maintain like paid membership rates.
Right.
So, and there's just such a heavy influx of girls entering the business that they can't possibly keep the rates at their level. So I just want girls to know that work might be substantial for a month or two, maybe, and then it's going to slow drastically and it's going to become more sporadic. And that's why most female porn performers supplement their income with escorting, webcamming, and stripping. So a majority of the girls are never going to make a living in porn, and they're going to resort to alternate forms of sex work. Most of them are going to end up prostituting if they're not doing it already. And I just want girls to know that no one is flying you anywhere for free, and no one is putting you up for free. You're going to have to pay them back the second you get your first check. So you're not going to be keeping any of that money, because all of your travel, lodging, and food fees are going to be automatically deducted from your checks. And your checks may even be withheld until your debts are paid.
Spent more than you've made.
Yes, you're going to, in many cases, you are going to incur more costs than you've actually made working.
Cece, let me ask you this. Your experience, the girls you knew in the industry.
Right.
How much money did they have? What were their living conditions like?
So I'll give you probably the most typical example I can think of from my sort of exposure to hundreds of girls over the course of my time in the sex industry.
Yeah.
And like the first check you get, your agent is going to keep it because he's going to reimburse himself or herself for your flight, any other like travel fees you may have incurred. And whether you're working or not, you're being charged for lodging in usually like dirty, crowded model houses. They aren't cleaned regularly in my experience. It's like 2 or 3 girls jammed in a room. Sometimes it's bunk beds. So you're being charged for your stay regardless of whether you're working. So that's going to come out of your check as well. You're going to be charged for every STD test you take at the clinic, which is $155 every time. You'll be paying for that. You also have to bankroll all of your wardrobe, and in some cases your hair and your makeup, and then your agent is taking 10 to 20% of your shooting fees.
So wait.
Off the top.
Okay, I worked in the modeling industry for a long time.
Right.
What you're telling me is that on set, they're charging you for the hair and makeup that's done?
Only some companies provide hair and makeup. Otherwise, you're going to have to do that yourself. You're going to have to provide your own hair and makeup.
It's a modeling job without the hair and makeup. So in other words, you're paying for it if you want to look good in film, if you want to get another job. Right.
You can either do it yourself, which they prefer you don't, because most girls just aren't skillful enough in the styling. They're not professional. So if you wanted like professional hair and makeup, you'd have to take care of it yourself. Only some companies provide the hair and makeup, but no companies provide wardrobe. You have to pay for your own costuming and wardrobe.
This is not regular modeling by any stretch. Like, I know this because I was in this industry for a long time, modeling industry. You get clothes on set, you get hair, makeup on set. This is no modeling job.
No, I do want to clarify to young women that, because it's often this myth that sex work, whether it's porn, escorting, stripping, whatever, girls say, oh, well, there's nothing wrong with it because it's like a regular job. And I want to clarify that as an independent contractor, which you are in the porn industry, you receive zero residuals or royalties for any of the content in which you participate. So you're getting a one-time stipend while the companies profit indefinitely from your videos. And it is not like a regular job. Let's throw that out there.
So that is a great point. Actors, they get residuals every time their commercial is on, every time their show does reruns. They will make money on it. You guys make zero.
One-time paycheck. And let's get it out there that this is not a regular job because you have zero employee benefits. There's no health insurance, no 401k, no paid time off, no workers' compensation, zero. The industry does not care about you.
Cece, let's also talk about the fact that if you worked in Merck or you worked in BASF in a chemical company, there is OSHA overseeing the safety of their employees, while you will be working on sets where they will be convincing you not to use condoms so that you are absolutely unprotected in the workplace.
Yes, a company is technically, I believe they're legally obligated to give you a condom if you request one.
Yeah.
So, but if you request a condom, they will very likely cancel your shoot and they will not rehire you.
So there's no protection. And here's the thing is, because you're a subcontractor, let's be clear, because you're a subcontractor, OSHA has no oversight to what you're doing.
Correct.
So only when you are a hired employee, which no sex worker is, then OSHA will protect you. But our government has no oversight to protect you in this industry. The only people that are there to protect you, which don't give a rat's ass about you, is the porn industry.
Correct. Can I?
And the work, can you tell them about the sets? The sets, how, are they clean? Are they?
So on that note, speaking about condoms, I do want to discuss the misconception that porn is safe, like is safe for your health due to testing.
Right.
So because there is a misconception that it's safe to perform. So like I want people to know that companies require, quote, full panel testing anywhere from 7 to 30 days, most typically 14. And let's reiterate that performers pay their testing fees themselves.
So you pay $150 every 2 weeks.
Correct. Sometimes more, depending on the company's requirements. And I'm using full panel in parentheses. Because these tests only include chlamydia, gonorrhea, syphilis, HIV, and most recently Hep C. The tests only include blood and urine. They do not test for any bacterial infections in the mouth or throat, which are just as easily contracted.
And what about what about HPV?
Okay. Oh, I'm so glad you mentioned that.
Yeah.
Because agents and producers who recruit girls, they're not initially going to inform you that you are most likely to contract a lot of these bacterial infections regardless. Like, it is, from my experience, it's common for performers to contract chlamydia and gonorrhea in between testing windows. And agents and producers are also, they will not tell you the astronomical likelihood that you will contract herpes and various strains of HPV while working. Venereal warts on the genitals and anus are common in the business, and they require surgical removal. So let me reiterate, you will not be compensated for any medical fees, any health care, any time taken off due to infections.